You want the HOA drama? Are we ready? Are we ready? Yes, it involves the lady who yelled at my wife. I don't know if we're ready for this story because it involves like, man, it involves it involves tears and lawsuits, confidential papers, dead trees, uh someone acting like someone else accused them of being a child pervert. Yo, chat. Let me just tell you how the HOA meeting started. Let me tell you how it started, okay? The first thing they said is we can't videotape the HOA meeting. And I thought to myself, I was like, that doesn't seem legal. I'm pretty sure I can videotape it all I want. I'm pretty sure this is a one use state, or one person consent state. I didn't tape it though. Like I wasn't gonna tape it, but like that was the first thing they said, which just to me paints a picture. Paints a picture of what you're expecting at an HOA meeting. Right? Like why are they worried about it? Uh so it starts off and they're like, this is how it's going to go. There's four of us and we're going to hear your or we're going to talk about some of our what we're dealing with, blah blah blah. Then we're gonna hear your voice, let you voice your concerns. And first of all, I should mention, right? There were three, maybe four families there, or and maybe like a couple more that were like represented. Okay, yeah, maybe a couple more that were like represented. Um, so anyway, yeah. Anyway, the I should just fast forward. Like there's a ton of boomers in there, a couple young families, a bunch. They were letting their kids run around, which I was like, should have brought her. And they, the first thing that happened was, like there were like old people that were complaining about overnight parking. Like you can't park overnight on the street. And I was, and I was like, I thought to myself, I was like, I mean, why? We got really wide roads. Like, isn't that why you have them? You can park on the street. But anyway, that's neither here nor there, right? They're too unorganized to ever do anything about it, so I'm not really too concerned about that. You know what I mean? Like they're way too unorganized to ever do anything about it. Ma'am Lord, thank you so much. They're about to complain about the RGB lights. Yeah. I'm just gonna put RGB lights up and down our driveway. That's what I'm gonna do. We're living under martial law. Uh, anyway, there were old people complaining about parking and cracks in the road. I don't know, stuff that really had nothing to do with anything, of course. But they're old people. That's their concern. Like, you know, when you're a boomer and your life's just been like shit's just been like curved towards you the whole time and then you have cracks in your road, I get it. I get it, you know what I mean? Shit's rough then. Basically I'm not allowed to have overnight guests. And what I'll make room in my I'll park them sideways diagonal in my driveway if I need to. Yeah, I'm gonna do a laser light show in the driveway. Anyway, so my wife gets up and says something, and she I mean it was pretty scathing, man. She wrote it down. It said how, one person called all of us homeowners entitled. How every time you're around the HOA, they yell at you. How they post passive aggressive stuff on Facebook and use it as our official town hall forum, like blah blah blah. All these things, and then like there. So the best part of this was, okay, so this happens, right? And she says her piece. They cut her off right at the end. She just keeps talking because, like, fuck them. They try to cut her off, and she's just like, "I'm taking more than my 3 minutes. I'm taking my husband's 30 seconds." And yeah, and then another guy like saying something. He's like, "Well, I mean, I don't get why we're even bringing up Facebook because it's not the official forum." And then, like, when we explained to him that no, this is what they're using as the official forum, and they post things like the night before the meeting, like the lady posted on there. She goes, "Does anyone know who took the 2 pens from the clubhouse? 2 fucking pens, 2 pens from the clubhouse." She goes, did anyone know who took 2 pens from the clubhouse? Asking for a friend. I hope they were fucking space pens, the ones that can write underwater or shit. Otherwise, shut the fuck up. It's just pointless drama. You know what I mean? Pointless, completely drama, right? And so she says her piece. Another old guy says something, kind of like disagrees with Gina, like very politely, you know what I mean? Which was fine. But then another young lady says her piece, confirms everything that Gina was saying. Another dude comes up, and that dude was just pissed about the pool. He was fucking angry about the pool. The whole pool thing. He was like, "I work for the state. Y'all didn't do this, and this. Blah, 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 blah. Da, da, da." And just like called him out on everything. Then they talked about how they're in a lawsuit with our okay, so we address all our things. Another young lady addresses, sorry, I'm really bad storytelling with this one because I'm getting out of order because this is just so wild. Another young lady addresses this situation that happened regarding a bounce house and a very unpleasurable experience with a lady that we've also had an unpleasurable experience with, but not the head honcho, right? And she addresses this and is like, "We've moved on, we've made up from this, we're better now. So, we don't really have to worry about this anymore, this situation. But I do want to address the problems that arise from it. I hope my questions will be addressed in your guys' issue, right? In your guys' thing." And they go like, yes, all your questions will be addressed when we get our turn to speak, right? So then, when it's their turn to speak, they are like, "Well, in the interest of time, we're going to take the most pressing issues." And they had a big red circle of a slide, and the most pressing issues, right? And we're going to talk about those. And if we have time, we'll talk about the ones outside of them. The ones outside of them were all the ones that we, the young families, brought up, right? One of the pressing issues was harassment of the board. And that's when this lady on the board gets up and tells her side of the bounce house day, where she was, in her words, accused of being a child predator. And she cried and said we should never be videotaping our neighbors. I'm like, shut the fuck up, right? She says all these things are happening, right? You want to know what she was doing, chat? The lady had rented out a bounce house. The lady had rented out the clubhouse and put a bounce house on the front. And this lady, our HOA board member, was taking pictures of the kids' party, came outside, yelled at them, the kids and her, that they needed to leave right now, blah, blah, blah. You can't do this. It was windy. You know how windy it was yesterday? You can't have a bounce house. What if it gets windy? When it wasn't windy that day. But she was taking pictures of them. She posted the fucking pictures on Facebook. So she gets up. She's crying. I was accused of this. These people have been horrible to me, blah blah blah. I'm like, well, when people are horrible to you, just fucking quit and live your life. All these things. And then our the nice young lady who just, had this moment where she squashed the beef was like, can I respond? And they were like, at the end. Oh man, I thought I was about to see fists, man. I thought I was about to see fists. So like in the span of 5 minutes, we had like it was wild. And they talked about like some lawsuit we're in with our blah 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 with our builder and how we didn't have any money, but like they're pulling in like $50,000 a month. They got money. It was the whole thing was wild. It was a wild story. It was a wild night. I tell you right now, we're probably not going to be able to vote him out this year, but there are multiple scorned white women now, young millennial moms who are going to seek revenge in the coming years.